I'm frozen. Afternoon all. For those of you who don't know me and Lewis, as Tom just alluded to, but we're not staff here. We're not and Deck. But we are the output of Tom not having the balls to choose one best man. So, instead of upsetting one of us, he's upset all of you by giving us microphones.
Well, we were both absolutely delighted to take on the role today, as it might be the only opportunity we have to get a free drink out of Tom. We did look into how to write a good best man speech, and the advice was to keep it much like Doug's skirt. To keep it short enough, to keep it interesting, long enough to cover the goods, and try not to show the ugly bits.
Tom used to be Mr. Popular, life of the party at school. Now he's a bit older, his hair's got a bit thinner, and he's taken up some more mundane hobbies. He likes his cooking, as we've heard, he likes his walking, and he also likes his gardening. He's always showing us new plants and new grass he's growing. He's got green fingers, loves a good bush, and never gives up the opportunity to get his hands on a nice hoe.
We're all just relieved when Tom finally stopped getting around and decided to plant roots with Polly.
And speaking of Polly, because I haven't spoke about her already, Doug has given her a call out of how beautiful she looks, so has Tom, but we want to give one more between us of how good Polly looks, and not because we know it's going to embarrass her, but she does look absolutely amazing today. So. Also want to give a shout out to the lovely looking bridesmaid. I'm hoping we're going to have a dance later on. That's supposed to be your line.
As we mentioned Polly's dress, I think we would be remiss if we didn't mention the fact that when she tried it on, Polly fainted. You can put this down to cold feet, the stress of marrying Tom Somerville. I think Polly would prefer if we all just say there's some massive excitement for today. Now, I'm alluding to something Tom's mentioned already, but thinking back to all the years about how Polly and Tom met, you may think that all this here today was fate. But actually it comes off as a carefully orchestrated plan to get you all here today. So you're very welcome to have the opportunity for a boogie. After too many drinks one night, Tom was telling me how much he liked Polly. He was aware of her from our gym, despite the fact that they'd never actually really spoken to each other. But he knew he was definitely interested. We set about brainstorming ways to get him and Polly on a date. The leading idea from that night was true to Tom's recruitment nature. A carefully written message via LinkedIn as a sort of CV of romance, and the exciting opportunity, a date with Tom Somerville. Thankfully, Tom sobered up the next morning and he decided that idea was crap. And he stood until the end and said, I think we can all agree that was a very good call. We might not have gone the same way if he'd done that. The day rolls around and they meet for some drinks in Beaconsfield. Quite a few drinks, I believe. The night rolls on, they eventually go back to Doug and Jackie's to keep the conversation flowing. Fair to say it hits it off and the work going. As the night wears on, the drinks finally catch up to both of them, and Polly politely requests if she can throw up. Tom remains the gentleman, so he has no issues with that at all. The closest route for a tactical chunder is directly out the patio doors and into a plant pot on the patio. So Doug, now you know why your rosebush blew so well.
At school, Tom was one of the lads, Mr. Popular, fit into a bit of an ordinary schoolboy life. Got good grades, including an F in psychology. Got into the football team, but was benched behind Ed Williams and Justin Brown. Even Bennett started in front of him. Which is a bit of a surprise, because Tom is always banging on about how he's good in every position. school, Tom and I had our first girlfriends, our first cars, and our first lads' holiday to Magaluf. Little did we know on day one, Tom would turn up with a full first aid kit, probably thanks to Jackie for that. Unfortunately, there was nothing in the first aid kit that helped us get the rash off his chest from where he waxed himself, or from when he covered himself in tannin oil at 7 AM and tried to get everyone catching around the hotel. After school, Tom was lucky enough to follow his dream career, pretending to be his dog on TikTok. For those of you who don't know, Pippa Doodle Dog on TikTok, Tom likes to pretend to be his dog and talk to other dog accounts, and they all woof at each other. If you don't believe me, go on TikTok, Pippa Doodle Dog, and there are some good videos of Father's Day and Tom pretending to talk to other dogs. He spends all day filming them, uploading them, and talking to other people, and he gets 10 to 15 likes. So, joking aside, we do love Pippa, we love Tom and Polly, and we're looking forward to seeing their little family bloom, and maybe some more additions in the future.
Talking about family, for me today really is a family affair. My wife Libby is the bridesmaid, the bride is my sister-in-law, and as of a few hours ago, the groom is now my brother. Truth be told, Tom's felt like a brother to me over the last few years, giving me sound advice from finance and everyday problems to the much more important things like fantasy football tactics. He also gives me his hand-me-down clothes, which if he's going to stand next to each other, tend to be about 3 sizes too big. But it's the thought that counts. And Tom certainly is a generous friend. He's a really good friend, and he's the kindest person you could ever meet. So I'm so happy that he's now officially part of the family. That's a nice thing.
Yeah, enough for the soccer dogs. After school, Tom was lucky enough to be accepted into the second best university in Brighton. Again, he didn't get in the football team, so he went into the futsal team. He was never top goal scorer, but I have been told he was top snakebite drinker on a Wednesday night. You can blame that lot over there for that. And speaking of that lot, we met them for the first time on Tom's Stag Do. To sum the full day up in one sentence, Tom was dressed as a cricketer, roaming around London, and got us all kicked out and sent home in the last bar for refusing to pull his trousers up. After multiple warnings around the ankles, they still ended up there. We thought we'd be saving that for tonight. I realised that was bad timing. That was the punchline of the last one. Nevertheless, I'm sure Polly wouldn't want that tonight after she finds out Tom was drinking beers out of the box he was wearing all day on his stag in 30-degree heat, covered in mayonnaise.
But before we were kicked out, Tom has to show the whole bar his naughty dance moves. So keep an eye out for those later, as I'm sure they'll be making an appearance.
We do take the piss out of Tom, give him a hard time, but behind the jokes, bad haircuts, bad fancy dress choices, he is one of the most loyal, genuine best mates that you could think of. He's kind of like that would drop everything for you, whether that's jumping in with a CrossFit workout that he knows he's not going to beat me at, or driving me around the whole of the UK on weekends away. Tom, this is probably the only time I'm going to say it, so lap it up, but we are very proud to call you one of our best mates, and we're so proud to be here on one of the best days of your life.
So seeing you, Polly, seeing you, Polly, makes me happy. You found someone that brings the best out of you. You both have fit so seamlessly into each other's lives. And we're so confident you're going to have a long, successful marriage and hopefully some more additions to the family, like yourselves and Pippa. We'll be honoured to have been chosen to be your best man today, to stand by your side as you marry the love of your life.
Tom mentioned, I have known Tom longer out of the two of us, so could have filled this speech with a long story that nobody wants to hear. So, especially as it's not appropriate for mother of the groom, bride's family, and friends of the family. So I'm not going to tell you about the time that Tom pretended to be a kangaroo.
Right. Moving on. Sam's not going to tell you, and I had to really try hard to get him to not tell that today. We'll call it there. Can everybody, if you can, be upstanding to a great class to bring Tom on a beautiful wedding day, and we'll wish the best in the world. So, Tom.